finish this up and then we'll go take a break. This black ring that comes around a child, and you have a child's head, that's a terrible child, but that's all right. We'll make them smile. There is a ring that begins from the mouth to here, and it's just a simple ring. This little black ring that you see from the glint of your eye, that you say, no, I didn't see that, is there. And that shows that, where that child is being protected in the dual hemisphere of the brain that connects to the zone of the spinal cord. All right? And it gives the child some protection, because that child that is being there, if that child is of the firstborn spirit, it will give protection. If that child is not, that child will become a victim. Now, adults who have not dealt with early abuse will carry on the black ring till they are healed. In other words, women that get date raped, abuse of emotion, verbal, etc. from men who have been raped, when they were incarcerated and everything else, they carry this. And that's when an individual such as a woman or a guy, they protect themselves and say, hard love. And even in the movie Meet the Browns, where they showed this sister, where this brother was supposed to be so wonderful, but yet she was like, you messing with my children, you know? And his brother wasn't. He was sincere. And he was giving her nothing but love. But she couldn't understand because her mama gave her up to her husband, which was not her daddy, so he can have his sexual way with her. Just like in the Bible, which we'll talk about later, is where you deal with how these men raped this one woman, and she was beginning to be raped. And when they raped her all night. When did they rape her? They raped her when it was a full moon in a season. And they raped her and had their way. These men and the prince of darkness were using her in tantric sex to open up a gate, because this female, this black sister of the so-called tribe, Yehuda, they knew she was a gate opener or a gatekeeper, and they was trying to have a child come through her. Because they didn't denote her being pregnant, they gave her back as refuse. Refuse is another word underlined that means Christian or of dung of the heel. Then they threw the woman, after they have tried to tantric sex her and to embed the seed of the dark side, because she could not collectively. When her seed, if their seed was connected to her, a light would emit it from her, and they would know that she was impregnated, and then they would have gave her protection and had the child. But because it didn't happen, they knew she wasn't the one. So they had their way, but it was a way to deal with things, ceremonial sex. All right? Now, so what they did, they dropped her off at her father's doorstep, but she was still alive. What the father did, he killed her, because he felt that the demons and the prince that had her, her spirit was on there. So he did a killing where he stabbed her in the heart and turned it 10 degrees. Then he cut her up 12. I know brothers be reading that scripture like, why did the man kill his daughter and then cut her up in 12 pieces and have the audacity to send it Federal Express to all the tribes? Why? Because the 12 astrological sectors denote the time of change of man, and these were not the brothers that were of the upright of Ayah. These were the brothers who were trying to understand, and the scriptures relate to it in 12, but they were not. The 13 is what it deals with, because there were 13 new moons. This is where they open up the gate in the Hellenistic Hebrewic sense, where they change things. And remember, you call them First Kings 1 and 2, but they're really First Kings 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the original name for these books were the Book of Wisdom of Shekinah. And the one lady that was in charge of all this, and she was with all kings and prophets and princes and everybody went to, and she had the ring of Ayah. and all these things where a brother will put that on and he will transform in spirit and power. And what was her name? What? That is correct. Let's take a break.